I'm Terry David Mulligan. This is Mulligan's to the podcast, music, film, food, and wine. This week is sports and wine and football and swill and food and funny with Jay and Dan from TSN. They are Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole, good buddies. The Jay and Dan Show. Here's two guys who started their career. Well, Jay was in Athabasca, Alberta. Dan came from a small town in Ontario, and they got together to co-host a sports show. It led to fame and some fortune in Canada on TSN Television, the sports network. And then they attracted the attention of Fox Sports in Los Angeles, who were looking for just what they did. They did sports, but they did it funny. And for 2 years, they tried to get Fox Sports 1 off the ground in the United States of America. And depending on who you talk to, somebody dropped the ball. However, they have been welcomed back to Canada with open arms. And so they report to work in the evening at TSN. All of the games are played. All of the sports events are happening. The stories are there. And at midnight, they go on the air and start to broadcast their show. It's quite a life they live. Here's a conversation about the Super Bowl, being a sportscaster in Canada, how they got to where they are, and where they're going. And they happen to have an incredibly popular podcast as well. Not as much as Mulligan's do, but close. They are Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole, good buddies. Jay, are you there?
Yes, I certainly am, TDM. It's great to talk to you.
Dan?
I'm sitting here with Jay.
Jesus. How harsh is that? Okay, I just because I'm sure there are some people out there thinking, oh, he's got voice actors doing this. It's not really Jay and Dan. So just ask a couple of questions if I could here. Jay, are you from Athabasca?
Yes, I'm from Athabasca, Alberta, a small town north of Edmonton, where the buses would always run unless it was minus 40.
Okay. You are the author of Anchor Boy, True Tales from the World of Sportscasting?
That's right. I've written 2 books, and neither of them were ever really good, but they sold a lot of copies.
They got a lot of promo. Number 2 was More Short Tales from a Very Tall Man. Is that it?
That's correct. Yes, you've done your research.
Well, let me go one step further. Ryerson? Was it Ryerson?
Yes, I went to Ryerson. I'm even on the Wall of Fame now. My understanding is they keep trying to pry the plaque off, but it's stuck there like super glue. I think I met you at a big breakfast in Winnipeg or somewhere like that, or Calgary. You were a guest on the Big Breakfast Winnipeg, and you were very gracious and kind. And I was nervous to interview you, to be quite honest, and still am nervous to be interviewed by you. I can hear that in your voice, Toolsy. You and I, hooked up. I'm sure it was a CKVU or CFON somewhere in Vancouver. I didn't know about the Fort Mac connections and CTV Edmonton and the oil barons. Tell me, when was that?
That would have been, I lived in Fort McMurray from 1999 to 2001. I went up there. That was my first really big job. I did play-by-play for the oil barons, and then when I was up there, I went to the guy at the local cable station, Shaw Cable, and I said, I'd love to do some TV. He said, you shoot something, I'll put it on the air. So that's what I did, and then sent a tape off to CKVU, which became City TV in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And a man by the name of George Froelich said, get 1 year's experience and we'll hire you. He called me a year to the day, hired me, and that's what brought me to Vancouver and then eventually TSN.
And we need to know this for the historical record. Who put you together and where?
A man by the name of Mark Milliere. Blake Price used to work with Darren Detition on the 10 o'clock show. He had to move to Vancouver for family reasons. And that opened up a spot on that show, so they moved Jennifer Hedger with Darren Detition. And so Jay had to go from working with Jennifer Hedger to me, and we still work together. I'm sure he's very happy about it. I'm still very bitter about that, Terry.
Why?
Well,
why are you bitter? I don't understand.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was. Have you seen her? I mean, I kind of thought it was obvious.
Okay, fine. This is Super Bowl weekend. Have you given it some thought?
Well, we kind of have to. I would say this. It's amazing to me that we're surprised in any capacity that the Patriots are back in this thing. This machine never turns off. As long as they have Brady and Belichick, they seem to be just rolling along, and either they're in the Super Bowl or they're winning Super Bowls. So it's hard to bet against them, even though I'm going to take the Rams.
Are you taking the Rams?
Yeah, I really like their team. I like Sean McVay. I think he's a good coach. He just turned 33 years old last week. It's incredible. Terry, what were you doing at 33? I know what I was doing. I was working with Dan O'Toole. I wasn't coaching a professional football team in Los Angeles.
Wow. Where was I at 33? I have no idea. I don't even remember that.
Football this. You were hanging out with Crosby and Stills. Nash was back in England on a Hollies reunion, and you were ripping it up in Austin, Texas with Tom Cochran. It was an incredible year for you.
No, I was in Africa with Tom, but that's a different story, totally different story. That turned out to be Life is a Highway. Okay, so Toolsy, what are you taking? Are you taking New England?
Yeah, because I'm smart, and you never bet against New England. The only thing that troubles me, so I like to gamble a little, and it's a high total for a Super Bowl. The over-under is 56.5. And, Terry, as we all know, when you take the under, you're cheering for no joy in life.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the over as well as the Pats.
How's your record on Super Bowl picks, by the way?
It's pretty good. I won last year. I think the over hit last year. The over hits regularly in the Super Bowl.
We should mention that Dan doesn't usually pick the team that's going to win. He just plays the over-unders because he just likes lots of scoring, which is actually a pretty good philosophy when it comes to gambling. If you're going to gamble on sports, betting the over is the most fun that you can have.
That's right. You're cheering for points. You're cheering for.
Oh, let's not get caught up in this, please. Let's go on to other things, like, for example, Jay and Dan, TSN. Here we go. A couple of things. It's at in Atlanta, right?
Yes,
correct.
Yes, the brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium that opens like a crazy sort of Star Trek ship.
Okay, so it begs the question: do either of you own a Mercedes-Benz?
No Benz here. It's still Canadian TV, Terry. We're both driving 1986 Pontiac Sunfire GTs.
With the top down. And do you have you been to Atlanta? Either one of you?
I've been in the airport on the way to Talladega, on the way to a NASCAR race, but I have never stepped foot outside the Atlanta airport.
Have either one of you played football?
No, they didn't have. I was in such a small town, Terry. They didn't have a football team in my school. It was either hockey or curling, or it was one of those three.
Have either one of you been a cheerleader?
No. My school also didn't have football.
Okay.
Cheerleader, though, I feel like we could have succeeded at that.
Hey, can we talk just for a second? We can talk about halftime. What the hell's happened? Who's playing halftime, and do we care?
Maroon 5.
All right, okay.
And then Travis Scott, I believe, is supporting them. And I think multiple acts turn this down.
Lots.
Sort of in support of Colin Kaepernick, who still continues to not have an NFL job despite being a better quarterback than probably 60% of the current quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay. Are people going to stay, or do you think they'll abandon the stadium at half? What's going to happen at halftime, do you think?
They always stay, Terry. They say they're not going to, and they always stay. They always watch the spectacle.
And let's admit, no matter what they do in the Super Bowl halftime show, they will never top Shania Twain going by dog sled to the stage at the Grey Cup 2 years ago.
Yeah, man. I remember that. I fell off the couch.
She looked good.
Are they? Is there any conversation about taking a knee? Are we going to see that here?
I don't think so. No.
That kind of stuff, Terry. What's funny is that has sort of died down. There's hardly any talk about it this year.
Yes, but
I was surprised how quickly it sort of ended. But you know what was funny about that whole thing, though, Terry? they made a big deal about players taking a knee, but if you ever watched an NFL game, you almost never saw the anthem on TV. They almost never showed it on television.
That's right.
So I'm not really sure why it was such a big deal in the first place. But anyway, that seems to have blown over significantly.
Jay Onrait, Dan O'Toole. Dan Gerard O'Toole. I had time to look up website stuff for you guys, do a little background. I went to a thing called Famous Irish Canadians and found no mulligans. I found O'Toole's. Actually, I found Peanuts O'Flaherty. There's a couple of O'Toole's, and there's no Onraits.
Yeah, I've got some Irish blood in me, but not as much as Dan. Was Dan on there?
No.
Oh.
No,
that's garbage.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
It's garbage.
Mulligan's not on there either.
The guy, first of all, Dan is he's the pride of St. Peter's. He's Peterborough. He's Keene. He's all of those things.
Wow, you really did your research. That's where I played hockey. Keene.
Yeah, man.
If you've been to Peterborough, you know that despite all the terrific hockey players that came out of that town, it's Dan's face on the welcome sign.
No, it's not. Come on.
Okay, you're right. It's not.
You know how some towns have to, it's very competitive out there. I'm thinking of rural Ontario, and you have to come up with a hook driving into your town. There's one town out there, is the Canadian capital of baling wire. You got
I feel like the prairies would have a hard time accepting that.
I now live in a town that's on the way to Peterborough called Orono. It's Toronto, literally, without the T's. And so you have to drive by it to get to Peterborough. I want them to put on the Orono sign, Orono. Why have you never stopped?
Okay. They are the, how can I put this? What would the promo department say? They are the heart and soul of TSN. They stash them at midnight. And your mornings literally should be all about Jay and Dan. Jay Onrait, Dan O'Toole, Toolsy. Or on the phone, and it's a Super Bowl weekend, and we have this thing where I drag them through hell just to fill some airtime, and they fill it up with stuff about football and 4-down football and the cars that they drive, and the swill that they drink. For example, Toolsy, what are you drinking Coors Light still for the game?
Yeah, I gotta take it easy because we work tomorrow night after the Super Bowl. So I'll probably have a Caesar to start the festivities, and then a Coors Light, and then some Tim Hortons steep tea. That's quite a combo. That's free drinks should have every day.
Okay, Jay, what are you imbibing?
Well, I know you're a wine guy, Terry. I'll probably have a glass or two or three before I come into work. I like to think it makes me a better broadcaster. And I usually, on a day-to-day basis, enjoy a Portuguese table wine called Castillo de Montserrat. You can find it at your BC liquor stores for an extremely reasonable price. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Wait a minute.
What are you drinking these days, Terry? You got to recommend a wine to us.
I am currently imbibing a Robert Mondavi Cab Franc, which absolutely rolls my socks up and down, because he's all about the Mondavi is all about Cabernet Sauvignon. Like literally, they own the franchise. But this is a Cab Franc and I drink a lot of Cab Franc from British Columbia and from Ontario. And we're good. And we, our Canada loves Cab Franc in terms of the soil, but this is huge. This is ginormous. It's a bomb in my mouth, and so I like it a lot.
Oh yeah.
How's our Prince Edward County wine stacking up these days?
I love Prince Edward County. I absolutely love Prince Edward County. And I love the soil there. I love the people who are there. And they are a very attractive region to me. I watch, if it says Prince Edward County on the label, I want to know who made it. And I want to know about the winery. I just can't get back there enough. I really, really like Prince Edward County.
It's a place that I know Dan and I have thought of moving to together someday. Not in the same house, but, in separate homes. Or maybe the same house like the Monkees, where they all had bunk beds.
It's It's the home of Norm Hardy. That's where I'd start. I started Huff Estate and Norm Hardy. Okay. All right. So
I have a recommendation from there. Grange of Prince Edward County Vineyards. They have a Gamay. Phenomenal.
Wonderful. A Gamay. I love a Gamay. Thank you for doing that. I'm writing that down. Okay. So we got the swill out of the way. What are we doing? We got the food out of the way. We got that out of the way. Are you doing ketchup chips?
I've got a bag of ketchup chips ready to roll. I also make Super Bowl chili and then bring it into work, and then Jay brings everything to go along with the chili.
That's fantastic. I love chili. I'm going to be having chili Sunday. What do you put on top?
We like chopped onions. We like very, very, very sharp cheddar. And I found a creamery in Kensington Market. They make homemade cream cheeses, and they actually make a homemade sour cream, Terry, that you could literally plaster your walls with. It's so thick and it's so delicious. You could eat it by the spoonful. We plop that on there. It's yummy.
Boys, are you doing any medical marijuana these days?
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that, Terry. We're still employed by Bell.
Okay. By the way, I went to as part of my research, I went to IMDb to look up movie credits. Jay, you were in Corner Gas. What was Weird Loners?
Weird Loners.
That was a Fox TV show that lasted about 6 episodes.
It was by the creator of New Girl, the Zooey Deschanel show New Girl.
Yeah.
Lawrence Kasdan's son, Jake Kasdan. And, yeah, we were on it for an episode. And as ourselves, they were actually impressed by us because we did it in one take. And it was swiftly canceled after that. And I'm sure that wasn't a coincidence.
Were you both in But I'm Chris Jericho?
No, that was just me.
Okay.
And that was just my voice. I was just voicing something for that show. But we were also both in the Corner Gas movie, and I have to say, I know Brent Butt lives near you out in Vancouver, and what a terrific guy.
He's a great guy.
A lovely person to work with.
I'm happy for him, and I hope he's rolling in dough. Dan, I went looking for credits for you, acting credits, and I couldn't see anything. I did find a short called Two Tools.
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay.
But I was in, the Corner Gas movie along with Jay and that Weird Loners. I think that's the only thing I've done.
I had forgotten about that one.
Yeah.
All right. Can we get to the podcast for a second? The Jay and Dan podcast, which I hear is the greatest thing since sliced cheese. How's it going?
It's always going great because we put less than no effort into it, Terry. We really feel like that's the secret to podcasting success.
And this week, we recap my trip that I took last weekend to the new hotspot of North America. Are you ready for it?
What's that?
Detroit.
Oh, nice. Windsor.
Yeah. So you can hear all about that on the Jay Dan podcast.
It's Windsor South. Okay. By the way, did you know, I'm wondering if you do, that jayanddan.com is for sale?
Yeah, I think we have it. We're still working on it. But we've got jayanddan.ca.
I was looking at the sale price. It's $2,895. That's a lot of dough for jayanddan.com.
Yeah, that guy's going to be stuck with that bad boy forever.
Yeah,
we aren't paying
time.
that.
No.
Does Jay and Dan Direct still exist?
It does. We put out a number of great shows, including a sitcom called Merca about Roger Federer's wife. If you get a chance, it's only $65 a month, Terry, and it's a nice compliment to Netflix.
Okay, I'm being had here. How about the Jannies? They're still going, right?
That's right. That's our nightly awards we give to great plays and not so great plays.
Okay. How about the Jay and Dan liquid bar thing?
Oh, the liquor hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a new thing. Well, because Terry, one thing I really feel strongly about, I'm very upset about government-owned liquor stores in our country after coming back from the States. I just think it's so ridiculous.
It's stupid.
It's just so ridiculous. That's what I love about my home province of Alberta. They adopted the private ones, 25 years ago. But I'm so frustrated with the LCBO out here that I just am imploring Doug Ford, our premier, who everyone really, really loves. I'm imploring him to finally privatize liquor stores. And at that point, Terry, Dan and I will finally realize our dream of owning a chain of liquor stores called Jay and Dan's Liquor Hole. Who wouldn't want to buy the Robert Mondavi Cab Frank Jay and Dan's Hole?
And the $1 beer that Ford promised, and that's what got him elected.
Okay. Can I go back to your education for just a second, Toolsy?
Sure.
This will be a short one.
I made this note to myself. I can't believe it actually exists. You got a diploma in animal husbandry?
No, radio broadcasting at Algonquin College, prestigious Algonquin College in Ottawa.
Okay. Now, every once in a while on your show, Jay and Dan, somebody says, I want a mulligan. Somebody always says, I want it, but usually it's a golf thing, a reference or whatever. If you could, every time you get that on the broadcast, if I send you a shot of me as a Mountie, I'm wondering if you could just get it on the screen as a sort of a punchline because, it's a mulligan.
I actually, if you send us that picture, Terry, I guarantee we will start doing that.
Very good. So let's get back to this game, this Super Bowl game tomorrow, boys. What's the score going to be, Dan?
Well, like I said, I'm taking the over, and the over is 56.5. So I'm going to say Patriots win 40-37.
Wow. Good Lord. Okay, Jay.
So the over is 56.5. I want Dan to win his bet, but I want the Rams to win. So I'm going to say the Rams win 30-27. He just hits that over. I want him to sweat it out a little bit.
Okay. Is this a big money bet?
Yeah, it's not little.
Okay.
It's always big with Dan.
I know that. And boys, is this your first or second Super Bowl after leaving Los Angeles?
This is our second.
Okay. And did you was it a different experience being here as opposed to being there for you?
Yeah, because our last Super Bowl with Fox, we were at the Super Bowl in Houston, so a huge difference. We did a live show every single day, so it was a tremendous experience. Here, we're in studio, but we still get to do a show after the Super Bowl. So
we're on CTV after the Super Bowl, Terry. They're actually not throwing The Good Doctor or Big Bang Theory. They're actually showing our show after the Super Bowl, which is a huge thing.
That's
so
fantastic.
Tomorrow night,
all right,
if you're watching the Super Bowl on CTV, just keep it locked on, and you'll see at some point Terry David Mulligan in a Mountie outfit.
Thank you, boys. And I guess finally, what will be the highlight for you, do you think, this year?
It's a great question. I'm excited to see another music shout-out. I'm going to go see Arkells. They're on a national tour.
Yes, they are.
Great boys, and they're doing arenas now. They're our next big thing. So
Yep.
I'm really proud of them, and so I'm going to go see them in February. I'm very excited.
Dan?
and I'm very excited to buy property in my new favorite spot, Detroit.
Okay. Have we got a Maroon 5 song we can agree on?
No.
Okay.
Hey, Terry, before you let us go,
Yeah.
just to go with that chili comment I made earlier, make sure you put the two biggest ingredients that people don't usually put in, cumin and cooked bacon.
Oh, like barbecued bacon kind of thing?
Well, just however you cook bacon. Make sure you make it nice and crispy, though. Don't put raw bacon in the chili.
And put some pop to it. Like, get some spices in there, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's where the cumin comes in.
That's
Cumin's
right.
got
Yeah, but there's some wicked cumins out there. Some wicked stuff.
Can I request one more tune?
Sure you can.
Well, I just finished. If I could make a book recommendation, Jeff Tweedy, the lead singer and
Yep.
mastermind behind Wilco,
Yep.
just wrote a book called "Let's Go So We Can Get Back." I can't recommend it enough, Terry. I think you'd love it, and so I'd love to hear a shot in the arm from Summerteeth. I just think they're a great band, and he's a great songwriter.
He has a solo album out there as well.
Excellent, warm, I love it.
Okay. And how about you, Dan? Can I play you one more tune?
Yeah, play me anything. Play Houston by Dean Martin. I play Dean Martin in the kitchen while cooking every single day.
Dean Martin. Dean freaking Martin.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Thank you, boys.
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
Jay Onrait, Dan O'Toole, Jay and Dan. They're popular for a reason. They're funny. They know what to do. They're smart. They're sharp guys. I believe it's the difference in what they do that makes them so popular. You can get sportscasters anywhere, but not like these guys. My thanks to Jay and Dan. Next week, another Dan. Dan Mangan has started his world tour, and he's heading west across Canada, freezing his ass off. We'll talk to Dan Mangan shortly. This is Mulligan Stew, the podcast. Thank you for subscribing.